Alright, we're going to show you another video on how to do another selection and how to refine those selections, and then I'm also going to show you how to make a mask and then take that masked item and put it into another background. First thing I want to cover though before we start, something again that I didn't know that you should probably do this. And you don't have to do it every time, it's just up to you if you want to get your settings reset to the original default Photoshop settings. If you do that, before you need to click, if you're already in Photoshop, quit it and log out, and then come back in. Before you click on Photoshop down here, you want to hold on to the Shift, Option, Command keys. Hold those down simultaneously. Click Power School. It's not Power School, sorry. Photoshop, this should come up. You should also have a box that comes up that says, do you want to do this? You'll click yes. Mine didn't do that because I just set it before that. So that'll give you the default settings. If you do not change it, it's just going to start wherever you were the last time. It's okay if it does that, but if everything's kind of a mess, you may want to do that. So again, that's Shift, Option, Command as you load up Photoshop. All right. This time what we're going to do is we are going to do a different selection technique. So we're going to come in here to Open File, and we're going to pick out a picture, and I'm going to use duck picture. Kind of looks like the Aflac duck. And here he is. And the first thing I'm going to do is make sure, well, I'm going to grab the lasso tool here and just a regular lasso tool, and I'm going to make a really quick selection. It's going to be kind of choppy, but that's the point of it, so I can show you how to fix this. Alright, so we're going to come around the duck and then come back in here and match it up. Once we're matched up, then our good old marching ants come in here. Alright, as the marching ants are in there, what you can do is you can click on Q in your keyboard, and it'll show you what the mask looks like. Alright, so it automatically shows you this red film is your mask, and then anything that's clear means that's inside your mask area. So this is one way if you just want to see what your mask looks like. Click Q, or just press Q on your keyboard, not Command Q, because that'll quit. Make sure it's just Q, and if you click Q again, it gets you back to those marching ants. Alright, another thing you can do to do the same thing is go to the double arrows and get two columns of your tools here, and then this selection right down here, it kind of looks like a camera. If you click on it, it's the same thing. And it should light up as it comes up on here, quick selection tool. So that's two ways to get that type of a mask on. Now, while in this mask though, we could come in and do some touch-ups here. And we can do that with the paintbrush, but the first thing you need to do is make sure you're on the default black and white setting. If these were set to different colors, just click on this little box right there, and it'll automatically take you to your default, but since I did default at the beginning, clicked it on there. And then go to your brush, get yourself a brush size. We'll go a little bit bigger than this, and then you can see your brush in here. Now, when you come in, alright, if you're on the black like we are right now, that's going to be your mask. So we could come in here and we can get it as close as we can, and then if I went in here like this, and then let's say I just go Q really quick and I want to see my mask, that's now what my mask looks like. Alright, so we'll go back to the Q. Now if I want to erase this out, switch it. You just switch it by clicking on those arrows right there, and I'm going to get a little bit bigger brush and come in here, and then I would erase it out. Now you want to make sure that if you didn't do default, you want to make sure your opacity is at 100, that your hardness is at, or hardness really needs to be all the way up here so we have a crisp edge. And I'm going to go back down and get a little bit smaller brush. And then I'm also going to zoom in. Oh, I clicked on that, so we're going to go back, cover that back up. So we want to come in here and we want to get this area a little bit closer. So you can go Command plus to zoom in your area a little bit, or you can use your scroll bar, and I think you guys know how to do that. Just to you have to go on this. I'm going to go down to a smaller brush size, and I'm just going to do one little area here for you. And then I'll show you how you can go back in with the other one. Right, so we're going to get this kind of close. And then see where this area is here. This is where I would go in with a white and trim that out. Right, so we'll go back and forth. This is a pretty large area, so we'll get this. So we could go in with a smaller brush and we could get that even closer if we needed to. We'll get this kind of close, but I don't want it all the way. Clean up the beak there. And like I said, I could get that a lot closer if I wanted to, but I want to show you something else on this area. So I gotta clean up some of these areas a little bit closer here. Alright, so that's pretty good. Let's get down here and clean this up really quick. So you go through and scroll through until you get this pretty close. And you, like I said, you can get this closer, but for the purpose. And then if I want to just get out back to my original view here, I can hold down Command minus and that'll get me back down. Alright, so there's my image. And again, we can click on Q and see where our marching ants are. Now, let me try to remember what we're going to do next. We are going to exit the Quickmask, which that was that background, so we're at our marching ants. And we are going to drag out the layer panel just so you can see it. That's this panel right here. Right, you can keep it in here, you don't have to drag it out. I just want you to be able to see it. And then in that layer panel down here is a mask, add mask. So we want to add this mask right here, and then you can see this mask. So you can still see kind of where those edges are and how they're still a little bit need to be cleaned up. After we do that, we're going to go to Windows and go down to Properties. And then if you click on this layer should come up, and we're going to click on Mask Edge. And then it brings up that same Refine Mask box that we had earlier on with the hair. Same thing, if you click on this, gives you the different images to see. So we're going to go on black and then click out of this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to this edge detection area. And what this will do is kind of detect these little areas. And we're just going to change the radius just a little bit. And you can see where it is closing. If you looked at that area right there, if I go back, see where that gap is? And it just kind of grabs onto those edges a little bit. I don't think we want to go too much. See how it brings it in a little bit. So you want to go just enough where it covers your different edges, and if you need to close out of some of these, you can close out of them. So I think that looks pretty good, so I'm going to go OK. And then we have our image. Alright, so we're going to take this back. After we get this image on here, we're going to pull in our background image. So we're going to go to File, Open, and we're going to find our background. I'm going to find an image with penguins. Open that up, and you should have two different backgrounds here. So we're going to go back to this one, and make sure you're on the layer, and you're going to be on the Move tool. Grab a hold of that duck and drag him into the penguins, and then pull him back down and then release. And look, there's your duck added right into here. If we want to make him smaller, we'll click and go Command T. That'll transform. Remember, if you just go regular, pull in this, see how it distorts it. Right, we don't want that, so Command Z will take us back to the original. If you want to keep it in proportion, push down the Shift button as you zoom in and out of this. So we'll just make him a little bit, and then hit Enter, and you are done. And that's how you select and add another feature.